Hi, I'm Jacob Sholum, an associate at the law office of Brian Fagan, and today we're going to go over the most searched questions about divorce that we found from Google. So, without any further ado, when does a divorce become final? A divorce becomes final when the judge issues his or her order. This can be done in several ways. We can get a mediated settlement agreement and give it to the judge, or the judge can issue an order after a trial. Let's see, the next one. When does a divorce decree expire? You know what, I'm going to get rid of the pen. A divorce decree expires actually never, unless we have a modification, which would be something that might happen in 2 or 3 years if there should be a life-changing event, or for whatever reason the parties decide that they want to get remarried. In most situations the decree will expire and the division of assets and child custody would all be back together should the parties remarry, which does happen. When does a divorce start? A divorce starts when one of the parties files into the case. A divorce is a lawsuit. There's a plaintiff and there's a defendant. A more formal version is a petitioner and a respondent. Once we file into the case, we need to serve process on the opposing party. In the state of Texas, that's done in one of three ways. The first is the constable, which is free. That can take about 3 days to maybe 2 weeks, depending on how hard the person is to find. The second way is to hire a private process server. And you can get that done in about 24 hours. And it's just like you see in the movies. Hey, I got a pizza for so-and-so, and they open up the pizza box and surprise, there's the papers. And the third way is a waiver of service, and that's where you send a form for someone to sign and get notarized and say, yeah, okay, you can do away with all the rest of that and just hand it to me or just mail it to me. I don't care. But the divorce initially starts when we file into the case. When does a divorce go to court? A divorce goes to court. In 2020, I don't have the statistics for 2021 yet, but in 2020, only about 20% of cases go to trial. The rest of the cases, 80%, go to mediation or are settled at mediation. We go to court for a lot of things throughout the whole process. If the mediation fails, we go to court and the judge will decide for you. You can go to court for protective orders, temporary restraining orders. We go to court for temporary orders as far as child custody. If we can't settle at mediation, we go to court for any sort of evidentiary hearings. Nowadays, after the coronavirus, a lot of stuff is through Zoom, especially in Harris County. So many times we won't even have to go to the courthouse and we can get it done at our office. Let's see, when does a divorce petition expire? This is the first time I've been seeing these questions. A divorce petition expires if there is a lack of prosecution in the case, and the judge will dismiss it for lack of prosecution. Suppose that you file into the case and then you just let it sit there for a while. Well, the judge has a limited amount of cases that they can hear every day. There are only so many hours in the day. The judge's job is to go through what's called their docket or their schedule and crank out as many of the divorce cases as they can, so long as everyone gets due process. But they have a responsibility to the public to get these cases rolling. So if a case is on the judge's docket for several months and nothing is happening, the judge is going to say, you know what, this has been sitting here, I'm going to just toss it in the garbage bin. You can go ahead and start over. And if the judge dismisses it for a want of prosecution, then you have to start over. Finally, the last one. When does a divorce become contested? Divorce becomes contested if you disagree upon anything. In order for a divorce to be uncontested, you have to agree on everything. It's not enough to be on the 1 yard line. You have to score a touchdown. If you're on the 99-yard line but you disagree about one little thing, well, now it becomes contested and we have to fight over it. All right, it looks like that's the end of our list. We'll be back sometime soon with some more questions to answer for y'all. Y'all take care.